Yo, how's it going, guys? This video is going to be super dense and actionable, all about how to create your own tracking sheets to track leads. I'll show you guys how to create your own tracking sheet, how to connect it with AI, and all the necessary formulas for coaches, agencies, or anyone else who needs to track leads. And not only that, I'll also give you guys some of my personal templates I used to scale past 10K a month, and I still use to this day to add tens of thousands of dollars to my clients' monthly recurring revenue. So stay tuned. Okay, so just to make sure that we're on the same page here, tracking sheets allow us to leverage data, and being more specific, they allow us to optimize, because that's the main premise of a tracking sheet. You have a tracking sheet in order to collect data and then take that data and optimize, and then eventually you will scale. Okay, so that's the main premise of leveraging data, and I'll show you guys how to do it specifically with tracking sheets, which is very helpful. Because what ends up happening, you'll have more data, you'll implement it back in the funnel, you'll convert more people, more data in the funnel, more convert more people, and you will keep on optimizing and scaling. And that's what we want, because the truth is what gets measured gets improved. And you probably know this because you're watching this video, and I'll show you guys how to leverage that. The more tracking sheets you have, the more people you have in your business to do optimization and analytics for you, or you can do them yourselves, the better your product will be, your offer, your services, and business in general. Right, so in this video, more specifically, I'll be going into how to use calculations. This is going to be for Google Sheets. There's also Excel. I think Excel is paid, but I think the same formulas and the same principles apply for Excel, but you're better off just using Google Sheets because that's what the tutorial is for. If you want all the sheets I show in this video, you can DM me sheet on Instagram. It's CamilleW_TA. You'll have it in the bio. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll also have this document for you. I'm going to be going over with a script, but if you want the exact same script in the doc, it will be in the bio for free. So if you don't want to DM me, you can just go ahead and steal this. Cool. Okay, so just to make sure that this video isn't all over the place, we're going to have a tracking sheet for new messages to allow you to calculate the conversation and test outbound angles. Okay, we're going to have one for CRM ads for people who actually respond and are interested in what you have to offer. And this is very crucial. You won't lose a single lead ever again. Okay, I'll show you guys how to track your ads and also how to track your closing rate. I structured this video in a way that by the end of it, you should know how to use a tracking sheet, how to create your own tracking sheet, and how to actually take my templates and tailor them for your own situation. Because let's be honest, your business is probably way different than my one is, either positively or negatively. That doesn't matter. It is different, and you will have to tailor your tracking sheets for your own business, and this video will cover all of that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is create a tracking sheet. You can do that either by searching it in the search bar, Google Sheets, or you can go ahead and open your Google Drive and create a Google Sheets from here. Either way, when you create one, go to File and make sure that it's moved somewhere where you can find this. So click on Move and move it somewhere where you can find it, or copy the link, however you prefer. Okay, the second thing you want to do is you want to install the AI itself. So go here, go extensions, add-ons, get add-ons, search GPT. This should be enough. And then download this one. Okay, so this one right here, you want to install it to your Chrome as an extension, because this will be useful for us later on in this video. Okay, so you got your rows here, and then you got your columns here. And how this works is that each cell is combined from a column and a row. So this is like B18, this is cell C18. And out of the most basic formulas that we'll be using is adding. So equals, each formula has to start with an equal sign. And you're going to add this plus this and click on enter, right? And this should add up. And then another one we're going to be using out of the basic ones, obviously, is this. And then we're going to do divided by this. Okay, and this will allow us to track the stats and then the percentage, because all we do is we go to format, then we go numbers, and then we go to percent. Boom, and then we got like 66%. That will allow us to track our closing rate, our open rate, or whatever it is, okay, or whatever you need. Okay, so let's get to our first tracking sheet. The first tracking sheet is for new messages, and this may not be useful for coaches. Okay, this is more for agencies who are doing outbound. Okay, but even if you don't need this type of tracking sheet, I recommend stick around, because I'm going to go over some features which may be very useful for you. So either way, let me get right into it. Right, so how this sheet works is you have date contacted, right? So let's say you contact someone on the 15th, you use the account, okay, you placed in their profile URL, okay, and then you choose the angle, so the script that you used. And then what you do is you choose the date contacted, okay, then you're going to want to follow up 2 days later, then you're going to do the next follow-up, and then you're going to do the third follow-up, and so on until you get to the last follow-up in your list. Okay, so how do we create something like this, and ultimately how do we operate in this? Because even if you copy my template, if it breaks, if you change something, you won't know how to fix it. So how all of this works, how to create something like this. So the first thing would be to type out all those stuff. I'm already there right here. Okay, and the first thing is cool right here. What we have is the date that pops up. The main thing when it comes to the date pop-up is data validation. So if you choose the column that you want to add it in, so you can click on A here, and you type in data validation, you can add a rule, and this should choose your column. And the thing is, you don't want to choose the first cell, right? You want to change here to A2. Okay, so this actually selects from the second one. And what we want to do in criteria is we want to choose is valid date, and we want to choose reject input, and then we want to accept done. And what this will lead is you can literally put in the date however you like, where you want. Okay, the next thing you can do, I recommend do it in the data validation section because this helps. So go ahead and choose your column, and it's going to be for the toggle list. So how this works, if you choose your tracking sheet and you click on here and you have an account, and how to actually create something like this is also data validation. So choose your column, go to data validation, it should be something like this, add a rule, but this time you want to click on drop down, it should be normal, and again you want to choose from B2. Okay, and you can add in your accounts. So account 1, boom, 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 change color, boom, boom, account 1, add another option, account 2, boom, boom, change color. You can change how this looks, so you can go to advanced options and go to arrow, clip, plain text, however you like it. It doesn't really matter, like this, right? So you can ultimately choose the account that you want to do, right? Same thing for D and for the angle that you use. Okay, so that's pretty simple, just for pasting the data. How to actually create some like this, right? So you can actually track each day when you do the outbound. So in order to get a similar result like this, first thing you have to do is you actually have to do the same thing, data validation, and you want to add a rule. And you want to add a rule for this specific cell, right? So the one right here. Okay, and this should be chosen optionally, and you want to go to is valid date, reject output, input, and done. Okay, and you want to choose the date that it is. Today is the 17th, first time of recording this video, and you can change the color. Why not? Let's just do it. It's kind of gray, and in order, didn't change. Okay, interesting. But in order to actually get the whole timeline right up here, we want to go like this, right? So we're going to scroll it to the very back, and I should change the date. And it did. Okay, if you need more, you can right click, insert column right, and you can insert more columns if you need to. Okay, and in order to put in the follow-ups, you want to drag it like this optionally, click on add a rule, and you want to tailor this rule to E2, so from here, but you have to check which is your last column. In my case, it's AF, so you're going to type in AF. And I think I have 1000 rows here, so it's like this. If I click enter, yeah, it does. And what you're going to do is choose option. So I'm going to choose follow-up 1, follow-up 2, okay, or how many follow-ups you want to, okay. And if you go to advanced options, you can actually change this to arrow, which I recommend doing for this option. And this is pretty much how you do this, right? So does it work? Yep, it does work. Cool, so we got that out of the way. Now, how do we actually leverage some calculations to actually get some stuff automated for us? So in order for us to track different kind of angles, we have one formula, so as you can see, which counts as all the messages sent in this tracking sheet. And what also it does, it divides the messages sent by the CRM ads. So we actually have a CRM ad percentage. The formula that allows us to do this is this formula. You can copy it. It will also be in this doc, and I have it scripted in the script of this video. And what this does, it counts all the messages sent in a given angle. So if I type in value angle 1, it should pop up value angle 1, as you can see. And what you can do, and this is super useful because you can count how many messages you sent for a given angle. And if you actually do track the CRM ad, so if you, let's say we got one CRM ad, it does calculate the CRM ad percentage, right? And how this formula works, it initially goes from column D and it searches for value angle 1, right? As simple as that. And then this has the divide by formula, as you can see, and divides 2 cells. So that's pretty simple, and this is the simplest way to actually track your outbound. So you can go ahead and build this out or steal my template, however you like. Super simple. So yeah, if you want to leverage AI to actually help you, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you go to AI, it should be right here. Okay, so you can open it up whenever you want. Okay, and you can click on generate formula, and you can say count if in column E appears the phrase yes, for example, right? Or you can type in whatever formula you need in this box right here, and it should generate you a formula. And I'll show you guys a tip, because this doesn't always work as far as this video is recording, and the reason for is because there's a mark light here. It should be something like this, right? And then if this highlights, that means that it's working, and you can copy and paste this. So you can also leverage the bot if you need some help as you go, but just to make sure that everything is highlighted. So again, you might get a script like this, but this won't work because there's this mark here, and there has to be this mark right here. Okay, so just to make sure. Okay, so here you have it. That's how you do your whole outbound tracking sheet. As far as the CRM, so this is probably the most important part for you if you're an agency owner, if you're a coach, especially if you're a coach. So what you want to do is you want to have a tracking sheet in which you can actually track your current leads in order for not lose them. Okay, so how does this work? So first you got your account. If you have multiple accounts, then this may help. Okay, then you use your angle. This is mainly for outbound, but if you look at my inbound CRM, also have one for inbound. You choose the angle the guy used to come inbound to you. So whether they followed, they liked, they comment, they messaged, they came from ad, or they liked your story, or they came from YouTube. Okay, this is why I also have an inbound one, right? But for outbound, you choose your angle. You want to type in the name either way. So let's just say Camille. I'm not sure why I spelled it like this. And for the profile URL, you want to paste it here, and just to make sure that the URL doesn't spread all over the whole sheet, you want to click on right click. You want to go to format. You want to click on wrapping and make sure that it's clip, right? So it's not overflowing, it's clipping, right? So that's what we want. So in order, and you can actually paste the whole link and it will clip in the cell, right? A date added, you already know how to do a date in my previous steps. Last message, you want to choose your last messages. This also helps for context. So let's just say convo, we had a convo, perfect. And then what you want to do is you want to click on follow-ups, and this helps win your next message. So let's say you have the convo with someone, and then you want to make sure that you don't miss out on him, but you don't want to be too needy and you don't want to forget him. You can say today's the 17th as the time of recording this video. So let's just say I want to follow up with this lead next week, right? Just to make sure so I'm not losing the lead and he doesn't get lost in my DMs, or I don't ban him by accident. You can have a whole list of your whole leads, and you can schedule when you want to follow up them, right? Because if you're a business coach, you don't want to lose leads, and in order for you to not lose leads, you want to stay on top of your prospect minds, right? So whether that's going to be a follow-up if they're not responding, whether that's going to be some more value. So let's say in 2 weeks, I'm going to send them my training. In 3 weeks, I'm going to send my scripts, right? In order to actually convert as much people from your leads as you have, right? And then status, this helps. And this is also for my automations right here. Okay, and I have it right here. If you want to track the convos, you have to choose convo or report, right? So if I choose convo, it will count in my convos right here. Okay, if I choose report, it will also count in my convos right here. So in order we can actually track the convos. Also, it is selected for calendar send, booked call, post call lead, right? So we can actually track the convo. It doesn't track when you click on ghost, not interested, or lead. Okay, so as you can see, if I choose lead, there's no convo started, and this will actually allow us to calculate the convos if we need to. Okay, right? I also have ghost. But ghost I only use if the person just responded on the first messages and they don't respond anymore, right? I'll get back to that in a second. But also for the dates, right? If you noticed, if I choose a date like the 2 or 13, it actually turns red. So you know that you're not losing any lead, right? And if you actually want to do something like this, you want to click on format, conditional formatting, and you want to have these two stuff selected, right? So if you don't have them selected, make sure that you click on add another rule. Make sure you choose date is and select today, okay? And this will allow us to actually select the day. If I choose today, it will go green, right? As you can see. And the second one you need to have, in order to have the same result as I do, go format, conditional formatting, and go to this red thing, right? And what you want to do is click on custom formulas and paste in this stuff here. I'll have it in my sheet somewhere if I open it up real quick. Yeah, here you have it. Paste this in there and you'll actually have the red thing here. Okay, so it actually does turn up red, which is super helpful. So in order to actually track the stats, which you want to do, I do have a guide here, so you can read through this if you want. But initially, what you want to do is you want to have the first cell for all the leads. So every person that you add in, again, in the CRM, you add people who responded, okay, or you have some contact with and are potential clients, right? So if you're doing outbound, you're going to want to add into the CRM everyone who responded to your message. Same with ads, everyone who interacted with your ad if you're doing DM ads, right? So the first cell, all the leads, I have a count all formula right here. So click on count all, boom, and it should count all everyone in the first cell. This helps, and this actually does count the leads. So if I click on some random numbers like this, boom, why not? It should count 3 leads, and it did. Okay, if something doesn't work, it may be because you do have multiple sheets here. Okay, and in order for this to fix, if this doesn't work for some reason, which should work, but if it doesn't work, you are going to want to paste in, let me see, something like this, right? So what you're going to do is you want to go right here and you want to click on this thing right here, and you want to choose the page that it's on. This is on outbound CRM if you look down here. So if I click on outbound, boom, 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 CRM, and if I click that dot again, and then I have to do an exclamation mark, boom, it should have the same effect. Does it? Yeah, it does, right? You don't have to add in all of this stuff here, but you can if something breaks, but initially it shouldn't break, and if it doesn't break, just keep it like this, okay? This is just a thing if something actually doesn't work for you. Okay, and for the convos, what I have here, I've selected everyone I want to have a convo with. So like I said, the convo counts for everyone who clicked on convo, report build, calendar send, booked call, post call, lead reoffer, right? So in order for us to actually have them all in one cell, what I did is if I copy one of them, I made a formula where it's like this. So it's a normal count if formula. So count if H2 to H900, H is this one. So in this lead, there's the word convo. Okay, pretty simple. I explained this early on, but you don't actually have to have the name of the CRM here, right? This is an additional part. So it should be like this, right? This should work the same way. If I click on enter and if I choose convo, it should click on one, right? And what I did to actually track all the convos, you want to copy the whole thing, boom, Ctrl-V. Instead of the equals mark, you want to give it plus, and you're going to want to choose the word that you want to count. So I could say leads, right, if I wanted to. And what this will do is if you click on leads, it will also sum up the leads. Okay, my bad, it's not leads, it's lead. Make sure it's the same as the value that you pasted, as you see too. And I did this for, like I said, everyone from here. And then it doesn't count the people like ghost, not interested, or lead. Okay, I don't count them because that's just status and helps. Okay, and this may be very complicated, right? But that's a thing that you can do to actually track the convos, and you can actually have a percentage right here. Okay, so for the calls, I have the same thing as I said right now before, but the only difference is I only have post call lead, or you can also have reoffer and closed. Okay, you can also have a closed section, right? So if you click on post call lead, it should be right here. Okay, and the last three to actually calculate the percentage and the performance of your whole CRM management. Okay, which is super crucial. You can actually see how you're going, and you can test it with other stuff and people. For the leads to convos, I divided the convos by leads. For the calls, convo to call, I divided by the calls by convos. So it's a simple equals divided by mark. For the leads to call, I divide the calls by leads. That gives us the percentage that we want, okay? Simple math. If you paid attention in class in primary school or high school, then you probably know how to do this. Okay, so that's pretty much for the outbound CRM. It's pretty simple. You also have some formulas that I used. You can do an inbound CRM based off of that. So if you go to angle used, the only difference will be you track something like this, okay? And you can track the same thing. As you go, I recommend have an outbound and inbound. If you don't have an outbound, you can just go ahead and have one. You can just go and delete this one if you like. Okay, if you don't need any of these columns, you can also go ahead and delete them as you wish. Okay, I also have another sheet for you, and it's more of a bot, and this is more to show that you can actually play around with all this stuff. So another way to track your performance, I use this on an outbound Bot Scraper. So initially how this works is you paste in the date, DM sent, so let's say 34 DMs. Let's say we got 5 responses. Let's say we got 3 CRM ads, so 3 people actually want to see the video or whatever you have in your outbound. And then you put a name. You can optionally type in either different follow-ups, or you can do it from outbound, or you don't have. You can even delete this if you want. And then you choose the angle that you choose. And what this does, so how does this work? You have a formula sum if, FF, right, has angle 1, so what it was to this point. And you want to sum actually the BB, right, because that's where we have the numbers. And that's how I have this also in my doc. You can check it out. I do have it somewhere in my script, right here. And you want to paste in this if you actually want to sum all those stuff right here. And what this allows us to do is I have a big CRM tracking thing here, right? And what this does is you can track the messages. As you can see, I have a sum of messages for each angle. We have the responses, because it's the same thing here, but the only difference is that we count the CC column. This was the BB where I have all the messages sent. Then we count all the responses. We do count all the CRM ads, the same thing here. And we do have another section, calls and closed. This is supposed to mean closed. And if you go to calls, booked, we do have same thing for GG, and it just sums everything up. Same thing with closes, okay? And then we have some calculations where you don't have to paste anything here. This all calculates for itself. So as you can see, we have reply rate, we have 9%. We got the CRM ad, we have 5%. Okay, message to call 1%, response to call 12%, CRM ad 20%, and there is a bunch of stuff you can track. You can even track your closing rate right here. But initially, if you have multiple angles, this will help you. And like I said, this is for a bot. You can also do something similar for outbound. If you don't want to use something like this, this will help you split test variations. Or you can take this and you can literally paste this into your outbound CRM. Like I said, your business is definitely different from mine, and you have different needs for your business. You have to track different stuff, but initially, this is the main thing. You can paste this wherever you want, how you want. It's all in the formulas that you have. Okay, same thing. I do have a EOD, end of day report section right here. This is something you can play around with also. This is for my setter, my VA scraper, but either way, you can do something like this. You have the dates, right? We choose an account. You can type in the messages manually, however you like, and then you do have like CRM ads, let's say 2 CRM ads, and this does divide for you, and then any notes, and this can help for accounts, either accounts you have. It actually track the end of the day reports. Okay, and you may get this sheet for free if you message me on Instagram, which I do highly recommend, because you can actually see the formulas that I went through in this video, and you can actually tailor, copy and paste whatever you want. You can actually copy and paste this and paste it in a different tracking sheet. Okay, but if you want to tailor the dates, and this is for everything else. Well, let's say you want a different date. All you have to do is actually select the date that you got this sheet. So let's say you do select it on Monday, and then what you do, I mean that's Sunday, you just paste in the date that you want, and you're going to drag this little dot right here. Not this dot, it should be a different one pop up right here. Yeah, right here. And you're just going to drag it, and it should update the dates for you, so you can actually adjust that as you want. Same thing here. I'd recommend doing the same for yourself. If you don't send any messages in a given day, you can also delete it however you like, just saying that you can actually tailor everything as you go. So like I said, I do have this tracking sheet for you. I created this template for you guys, so it's ready to use. You have a tracker sheet, you got end of the day, outbound, inbound, bot, and then you have some tests that I built out going live, right? But other tracking sheets you can build, and these are based off of those principles. Nothing varies. This is like the foundation, what you need to know. And I recommend trying all this for yourself. You can play around on this, but you may also want ads, Google Forms, normal ads, DM ads, follower ads, whatever it is. I'll give you guys the main idea. I'll start with the hard one, so follower ads. This is probably the hard one. Do I have anything else here? Yeah, but basically we track ad performance. You can also conversation from ads if it's DM ads. I'll show you that in a second, and I'll just give you guys a quick walkthrough right here. So when it comes to follower ads, what you want to do for follower ads, you want to add each month here. Okay, so you want to create each sheet for each month, and this is pretty simple. So you just the day, followers, you paste in the followers that you have. This will calculate the new followers. Okay, for you, you click in the ad spend. This will calculate the cost per lead, calls booked, cash collected, revenue. This will also calculate cost per call, names, notes, whatever you have. This is what you do, and you fill out this every month. Okay, and what this allows us to do is this actually comes back to this page right here where you have all the summary, right? So if you go to new followers, what this does, something similar to what I showed you guys previously, all it does is sums up each cell and the specific page, right? So as you can see, it's January 23, which is this sheet, and it sums up cell 34. Because if you go to January 23 and you go to cell 34, it's the total amount of followers, okay? And you can basically structure your whole ads CRM however you like. Here you have a template, okay? New followers, ad spend, cost per follower, whatever it is. It's simple dividing. Okay, you can track the conversations from the followers. As you can see, this goes back to the conversation page. So we have a conversation page, and you can paste in name, profile, conversation. If you choose agency, it will add, and you also have all the conversations summed up here, and this also uses that. Okay, another thing you can track, and I guess it's very beneficial, is sales calls. I do have it right here. As you can see, you can track the sales calls. Pretty simple. You put in the date, close, revenue, payment type, cash collected, payment, name, needs follow-up, payment method, and you can do payment 1, payment 2, payment 3, payment 4. I think this could be super beneficial. You can track all your payments here. This will also sum up your cash collected revenue, and you can do this for every month, or you can have one simple like this. So just summarize everything that you collected in your business, which is super beneficial and kind of work. Okay, another type of ads I can show you guys right here is DM ads template. Okay, and how this works is you type in the date. Okay, you can use the same formula. I showed you guys to choose a date, name, link. Okay, conversation type, I do have an option. So that depends on your call to action on your DM ad, or however you want to differentiate it. Okay, and whether they're qualified. If it's yes, it also counts in the qualified lead section right here. Then coach agency, the select for you, calls booked, and this will also calculate in the calls booked, as you can see. And you can have different variables for different ad sets, different stuff that you test for your business. Okay, and this will you just type in the amount spent, you have it, and then everything else calculates itself. Okay, pretty simple. And this is just some ideas on what you can do to actually track your ads. If you have normal ads, whether it's Google Forms or whatever, you can have a simple DM ads template, something similar to this. If not, you can do a template like this, and this is for followers to actually see that what you're doing with your business and if it's performing. Okay guys, so here you have it. This is super valuable. I don't think that anyone on the internet has a video like I did today for you guys. But initially you can track new messages, which is super useful, CRM ads, and this will allow you to not lose a single lead. Okay, and ads, and that's obviously track ad performance, testing, whether your money that you're spending on ads is actually useful, right? And then closing rate and whatever else you need to track in your business. I structured this video in a way that you should go ahead and create any tracking sheet however you want, okay? I may have put some timelines for you guys so you can go back in this video wherever you want. And like I said, this doc, right here from the video, it does have action steps that I went through my whole script, so you can go ahead and take it. It's for free in my bio for nothing. Just go ahead and steal it. And I also have this outbound sheet for you guys that I use for myself to do outbound and for CRM ads. Okay, this is super useful. Just DM me on Instagram. I'm not going to give you guys the ad scripts because these are for my clients, but I structured this video in a way that you should, with no problem, create any sheet or whatever sheet you want. Okay, so now you know everything about tracking leads, but this video is totally useless if you don't have leads to track. Okay, so if you still have a problem with lead generation, you can go ahead and check out this video that is on your screen right now. I went over what we do, how we do it to actually scale, and then you can use this tracking sheet to track the leads that you generate for yourself or for your clients. So yeah, it's just Camille, and see you soon.